Woo.
Uh-oh, I think we're live now. Hey, what's up, replay viewers? Coach Fryer here. Super excited to be with you today. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your morning or afternoon, depending upon where you're at, to tune into today's live broadcast. We are honored, grateful, and blessed to have the one and only Keysha Bass in the house. Keysha, what is good, my friend? Good to see you.
What's going on? What's going on? Happy quarantine day 900.
What day is it anyway? They're all the days blend together for us entrepreneurs, don't they? So it's just another day for
Right.
us.
Totally. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, I'm fired up as well. We're honored to have Keysha being one of our keynote speakers inside of a social marketing boot camp. She's actually going to be going live here in about a half an hour to share with us, how business owners can launch, get started, and start crushing YouTube for their business. So I thought it would be awesome to do a public live interview today to just have her share a little bit of insights. I think YouTube is one of those untapped resources. Keysha has done some incredible things on YouTube herself. I know she's got a couple of different channels. I know on one channel, I think over 28,000 subscribers, helping entrepreneurs, business owners, network marketers better understand how to make money online using YouTube. And so I wanted to just have a simple discussion today and just talk about, should business owners, entrepreneurs, network marketers be using YouTube? But before we do any and all of that, let me do just some justice here. I like to always just start with just a simple introduction. Keysha and I, we actually met. I don't know if you remember, Keysha. We met at an event in Florida. I think it was about 4.5 years ago now. 4.5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
At one of Ray's events was our very first time meeting one another, and it was really cool. We had a couple of short conversations then, and we've kept in contact over the years and just always admired each other's work. Keysha's she's a powerhouse entrepreneur. When I think of female powerhouse, just absolutely inspiring women all over the globe on how to make some money from home, all different ways to do so. I think of Keysha. She's a sought after speaker, mentor. She actually earned her first 6 figures in business in less than 1 year, completely using online social media and video marketing strategies. I also know she's a woman of faith, which I just absolutely admire. She's a mom as well, and so I'm honored to have you with us, Keysha. Let's do this. I want to kick it over to you, and maybe you can just shed some light, maybe take a minute or two and just share just your quick journey, your story. Let our audience get to know you a little bit more. I'd love for you to do that.
Awesome. Well, Coach Fryer, I call you my internet coach. Thanks for having me on. I'm so honored when you reached out. It's like, absolutely, I would love to do that. I'm just a girl that believed, right? I mean, like at the end of the day, at the core of it, I just believed it was possible. So I actually had done very well in a corporate career, had gotten to the 6-figure mark. And I remember my brother actually introduced me to network marketing. I was 6 months pregnant with my second son. And so he was like, sis, I found a way, for us to, really just, make it, and so he, came over and he wrote out the plan and everything and showed me. And I was like, yes, I want to get in at the top level and all of that. And so I quickly realized that I did not have the skill set or the mindset, quite honestly, that was required. Although I was a great, job, I worked, I was a great employee, but I really had to develop some skills, marketing skills, mindset, things like that. And I realized, and so I kind of bounced back and forth, from because I was doing well with my job. I kind of bounced back and forth on, do I want to really be an entrepreneur? Do I not? Do I want to? And it finally hit me one day. I was sitting in my office. I'll never forget it. And the daycare called me and they were like, my son, his name is Trey. They were like, Trey is sick and you're going to have to come and get him. Right. And as I was sitting at my desk, I had to send an email to ask permission to leave my job, my office, to go and get my sick kid. And at that moment, I was like, Keysha, I don't care how much money you make. If you have to ask permission to go and take care of someone you brought into this world who is your responsibility, right? This is not freedom. and your purpose is so much bigger than this. And so it was that turning point, Coach Fryer, where I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to find a way, and I had kind of drifted off of network marketing, but the internet was still very much something I was fascinated with. And so that's how I got here. I was just first trying to get myself out of it, out of the rat race. And then I decided, I was like, there's so many women that are experiencing that every single day. And it is my moral obligation to show them that there is another way.
Amen.
So, yep.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I think all the parents out there can relate. Maybe been in similar situations as you. I was sharing with you before that we've got 4 kiddos now, and I just totally get it. I understand. We bring these blessings into the world, and we're just like, at the mercy of someone else. So whether we can take care of them when they're sick, what have you. And so I just love that. That you just sharing that like gives me the goosebumps, Keisha. Just like that ought to motivate someone enough out there, those who are watching, to just be like, yes, you know what? That's why I'm gonna push the chips all in. That's why I'm gonna go for it, and that's why I'm gonna do this thing. There are so many opportunities out there. You and I would both agree to figure out how to make some extra cash online. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm really grateful that you're sharing some of your wisdom around YouTube today. So there's going to be a lot of business owners checking out this broadcast, Keisha. Let's just start with the simple question. Should business owners today that want to build a business, a brand, what have you online, should they be using YouTube? Let's just start there.
Okay, awesome. So I like to say, me personally, I feel like to expand your audience, right? That's where, and if that's what your goal is in your business, which most of us do have, if that's your goal in your business, then I absolutely, 100% recommend that YouTube be a platform that business owners absolutely take advantage of. And right now, people are sitting at home, right? And they're scrolling and they're doing things and they're looking for solutions and stuff. And so the views on YouTube, we've seen the increase in viewership right now because people are sitting at home. So I feel like it's definitely a recommended traffic platform that I recommend all my clients, obviously, to actually put into their arsenal. So yeah, I absolutely recommend that business owners be on YouTube. So
love it. Love it. Love it. Let's dig into maybe some of the problems. I know you've helped thousands and thousands of women get their businesses started, get it off the ground. A lot of them, you're teaching a lot of your YouTube strategies, which I know you're going to share in the boot camp later. But I'm curious because there's a lot of female entrepreneurs who are going to see this interview today, and they're gonna have some challenges, some obstacles, some mindset issues right now. Maybe why they can't or why they shouldn't start a YouTube channel. I'm just curious, what are some of those obstacles and challenges that you're hearing some of your clients or just future clients out there online saying to you as to maybe why they can't start a YouTube channel? Let's address some of these problems.
Well, it's the lack of confidence, right? It's a lack of confidence. And when there is a lack of confidence, then the excuses come. Right. So it's like, I don't have expensive equipment, which we'll talk about that later in the boot camp. Right. It's like, I don't have the right equipment. I remember a client had sent me a message one time. She was like, I'm going to buy me a new camera and everything. And your videos just look so awesome. And what kind of equipment do you use? And she was just like, had created such a story around my videos. And she was like, well, what are you using and stuff? And I was like, my cell phone. And I was really perplexed because I said, can you tell me which video did you see that in your mind said she uses that's a very expensive equipment she has, right? So we come up with all those excuses when we really just lack the confidence. One of the things I've been talking about to my clients is about belief too, Coach Fryer. Right? It's really about belief. And I stick to this in every area. I don't care what it is. Your results will always match your beliefs. And so it's really about people believing, right? Will this work for me? You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, let's just cut to the chase. The real thing is like, well, will this work for me? But it's 2020 and people have been on the platform for years, 10 years now. And this person has 300,000 subscribers and this person has 1 million and Keisha has 28,000. It's just too late for me to get on it. So that's a belief. That's a belief. So you believe, right, that it's like too late for you. And so now your results will always match your beliefs. So I kind of take my clients that route, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to, you know, like, because you'll do the work. Once I can get your beliefs in alignment with what you actually want, we'll do the work, we'll show up, right?
This is so good. This is so good. Everyone's out there making up these fantasy land mindset tricks as to why they can't, right? And you just completely just simplified this process and said, to heck with maybe the YouTube strategies to start. Let's work on this first. And I couldn't agree more. I know in a lot of things we share. I mean, it's like no matter what social strategy, online strategy, whatever, if you and I can't help people understand this first, and I love how you correlate the belief level with actually doing the work. It's in starting there, because if they can build the belief, build the confidence, then the work is just going to happen. And then you and I both know they're going to learn by doing. So I love it. If there was, go ahead, what do you say?
Right, because I say at the end of the day, all the strategies work. They all work. You know what I'm saying? Like they all work. But the core thing that no matter what kind of coaching you do, it is the belief. Like, what do you believe about YouTube? Right. And it's like, that's where we have to start the work. What do you believe about it? Right. And it's like, if I were talking about Instagram, I'd say the same exact thing. I'd say they all work. This strategy works. It works for Coach Fryer, to work for me, to work for you. What do you actually believe?
So good.
And once we get over that, you know, it's the sky's the limit.
We can remove all the other obstacles and stuff, and we can actually just get to work. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. Well, I know I want to ask you one more quick question. I'd love for you, if open, to share just maybe those folks who are tuning in. Maybe they don't have a YouTube channel yet. You've now set it in their mind to maybe actually this is something they should consider. What would just be one or two tips, Keisha? I know that you're going to be sharing inside the boot camp here shortly. I'll give you guys a link here in just a moment. You're going to share and teach how someone who maybe doesn't have a YouTube channel, how they can get started, where they should focus, and how they can start crushing online for their respective business. You're going to talk about all the details in there, but can we give them maybe just a sneak peek? Can you give maybe one, maybe two simple tips to our live viewers here today as to why they maybe should consider or start a YouTube channel?
Yeah, absolutely. I have this thing called my keys to YouTube success. Okay. So my name is Keisha and I'm always playing off that word. So one key that I would say is be clear about who you want to work with, right? Be clear about your ideal person and know exactly like what are they looking for, right? What are they searching for? Like, I'll give you an example, and I'm not going to talk about this specifically, but like people will say, Keisha, I want to start a personal development channel. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. But is your ideal person really going to YouTube and saying like personal development tips? Or are they typing in things like how to be more successful or how to do, you know what I'm saying? Like how to manage my time better or things like that. So I say, you got to think a little bit deeper because you know the word personal development, but doesn't mean that they know that word, right? So I think one of the things is to be really, really clear about your niche, right? Another key that I would get if you're just now starting is you're not required to like go and start uploading videos every single day, right? That's just not a requirement, right? If you can get a good strategy where you're doing a video once a week, right? And it's a good video that you plan it out and things like that, do one video a week. If you can add on an extra one or something or a show, right? I like to tell people about doing a show. Maybe you don't do a recorded video, but you bring on guests and now you have a YouTube show. Then maybe that's something you incorporate a little bit later, but get your feet wet and get going on just doing the actual videos, but just commit to doing one a week. Don't try to overcommit and go, all out. So those would be some tips I'd share with y'all.
So good. So good. I hope you guys are taking some notes over there. Keisha, so thankful for your time today. I'm fired up myself personally. We've been working YouTube as a company for a couple of years now, but over maybe the last 6 months, really starting to take it more serious. And I'm really excited personally to learn and grow from your training this afternoon. For those of you who are not yet in the boot camp, Keisha's literally going live in there in about 20 minutes. So if you're catching this live and you're not in the boot camp yet, I'll put the link in the comments right after this video. If you're catching the replay and maybe you feel like you missed Keisha's training, the boot camp starts on Monday. So I would encourage you to grab your ticket, especially if YouTube is maybe something you want to learn and grow from. She's not only going to be sharing this powerful training, but actually a couple of resources that she's created as well inside this boot camp. Keisha, any last words before we go? This was awesome.
Awesome. That's just thank you for having me. And I just say now is the time to just be who you're called to be in this earth realm. The people will find you. Your ideal person will find you. Your ideal client will find you. And I think that's just really the belief that you want to adopt right now, is that people are looking for you everywhere. When you get up in the morning, that's the confession that you want to have. And so people are going to find you on YouTube. They're going to find you everywhere. They're going to email you. They're ready to work with you. They have credit card in hand. And so that's the belief that we want to adopt and go forward, in this actual world.
Amen to all that. That's what I'm saying. If you guys are not already following Keisha, be sure you're doing that. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. The name of the channel again, Keisha?
It's The Purpose Penthouse, Keysha Bass. But if you go to Keysha Bass, The Purpose Penthouse.
There it is. Make sure you subscribe to her on YouTube, and we'll be putting the link in the boot camp shortly. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. God bless each and every single one of you. Keisha, thanks again so much. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.